Cool.
I bet that's gonna come out great.
It's gonna be something.
Do you want to do one more?
Happen, so
you have like 2.
Cool.
Should we just do it like 6 more times
Cameron?
so you have a good one?
No. Please
Okay.
no.
Please no.
All right, take it away. Take it away, Cameron.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Common Ground Podcast, your favorite Pauper podcast in the universe. Today, we don't got much of a huge topic. Let me introduce my co-host first. That's very rude of me. I am Cameron Schindler, as always, joined remotely by my 2 beautiful co-hosts, the frigid cold Thomas Gunn. How are you doing?
Burr. I'm so cold. We're on video right now because we're recording remotely, and it's very cold in Nashville. It's very cold.
It snowed like 4 or 5 inches, and just the whole
like
city
8
shuts
inches.
Down. That is a lot for Nashville. Like, it does not have the infrastructure to do it. No one salts their their parking lot. So like all parking lots are just 3 inches of ice. And Hippo wants me to introduce him, my beautiful co-host, Hippo, aka James Hieronymus. What's happening?
What's up, everyone?
You know why I went Hippo? I forgot your real name. Like, it escaped me in the moment.
To be fair,
I call you James sometimes, but
not nearly as often as Gunn does.
All right, but today I hinted at it briefly. Nothing like huge talking about. Gunn and I played in our local Pauper event, so we're just gonna be going over our tournament results and, as always, the MTGO challenge results from Saturday, Sunday. Hippo did not want to play Pauper. He wanted to play a different format, which was.
It's not that I didn't want to. I did want to play Pauper, but I qualified for our local store's end of the year legacy tournament that for lots of prizes. So I wanted to play in that and see if I could win some prizes. I top 8'd. I did not get beyond the top 8. I got quickly thrashed.
What did you play?
I played my very favorite Magic deck of all time. I got to play Death and Taxes. But I decided to be bold in this particular tournament. So before that, I did actually make a change to my deck, a vital change to my deck this weekend. I've actually added a color, which I would not normally have done, but I wanted to play some busted cards that are in another color. In the world of Pauper, I guess the closest thing to that Death and Taxes is probably somewhere in the realm of like Cawgates and probably just like a white aggressive deck. Actually, no. Probably between like Cawgates and Synthesizer and like Ephemerate, somewhere in that realm. Mm-hmm. It's just a super fair deck, playing on a really fair axis, trying to deny your opponent's resources. That's really what it is.
It's like mono white control.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just mono white control. Yeah. But yeah, I had a super fun
quick
time.
Trivia: Why is it called
Death and Taxes? All right, because there are 3 things certain in life: death, taxes, and white weenie decks at Magic tournaments.
Yeah, there is. All right, that's enough about the real Legacy format. Let's talk about Legacy Light. Gunn, do you want to start us off with your tournament? We'll just do one at a time. How do you want to do it?
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially since we're recording remotely this time around, so we're not jumping all over each other too much. But if y'all have anything to chime in, please, by all means. So
Should we
I
raise
played
our hands like good boys.
We could.
Probably go.
We could.
Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah. Okay.
That's probably why
As I
we
say
were on
that
video
without raising my hand.
No, you're good. So I hinted at it last week that it was gonna be like that. I was gonna hint more about what I was playing, / we were playing. But I settled on Mono Blue Tolarian Terror with Delvers and stuff like that. I found I played mostly the second place list from one of last week's Sunday challenge, except I swapped out the 3 snaps for 2 boomerangs and a 3rd Spell Pierce. I liked Boomerang as an option to bounce some lands at points, especially the tapped artifact lands to slow down the Glitters decks, which I expected to be predominantly featured in our metagame at our event. and I was right. But I also wanted to play something that wasn't mono red, so I could kind of expand my range and try something new. And I had a super fun time. I had a blast playing this deck. It was great. I had 2 Murmuring Mystics in the main, and I had the 3 Jace's Phantasms in the board, as well as an extra Murmuring Mystic in the board, just in case anyone showed up playing Gardens. A little preview on that. So my tournament, there were, I think like somewhere in the 14 to 16 player range. So it was 4 rounds, cut to top 4. Round 1, I played against our now multiple times mentioned on the pod. I have to offer a correction. He is 11 years old. His name is Scion, and we played in round 1. He was playing Jeskai Glitters. I got the match 2-1. First game was just kind of exchange resources, and I ended up on top in the control roll. Game 2, he got a nice fast clock, and I couldn't keep up. And then game 3, he stumbled on lands at a couple of early turns, and I was able to pick it up from there. But we had a good match, and we had a good time. Round 2, I played against your beautiful face, Cameron, and you were on a deck. I'll save it for you to talk about it with the fam.
Gardens.
Yeah. You were on Gardens, which is a horrible matchup. I lost 0-2. In game 1, there was a spot where I countered a Crypt Rats where I probably should have just let it go and held up counterspell for
you.
Yeah, you did, for the Avenging Hunter, the initiative creature. And if I had done that, then maybe the game goes on a little longer. But you were able to just slam the Avenging Hunter uncontested and gain the initiative, and I never got the initiative from you. And you took it away from there. And then game 2 just was fairly similar. I held on a little bit longer in the like setting up stages, but you were able to take it from there. Really good matchup for Gardens.
So game 2, we did some like B-roll footage and stuff, and we kind of had like the camera sitting on our match, recording it. So I watched our second game, and it reminded me, there was like a really crucial part where I was trying to make my 6th land drop, and I had 1 Colony Garden in play, and you tapped out for a Murmuring Mystic, and you already had a Terror on the board. So I had to file, but only 4 swamps. So like I played Ichor Wellspring, I drew for turn, played Ichor Wellspring, drew a card, and then Dispute affected a way to draw 2, and I finally hit the swamp in that last card. And nice. I don't think if I drew that swamp for the turn to file on for Murmuring Mystic, I think that game drastically reshapes.
For sure. Round 3, I played against our friend Rigel. He also works for the store in question that we played at. Played at the Game Cave in Nashville, also technically Donaldson, here in Nashville, Tennessee. He was on Blue-Black Fairies. I believe he borrowed the deck from a friend. I won 2-0. Rigel's a very good player. He borrowed it from you, James?
Yeah, he mostly borrowed the cards from me.
Hell yeah. I was able to best Rigel. He is very often, if not almost exclusively, like a blue tempo deck pilot, and so it was right in his wheelhouse. But I was able to. It was on one of his only times playing Pauper, I believe, and so I was able to take it from there. And then round 4, I played against our friend Wub, who also just recently started working at the store. They were playing Skred Terror. Blue-red Terror deck with Skred and Lightning Bolt. Also borrowed cards from James. I won this match 2-1. At this point, I needed to win. It was a win and in into top 4 at this point. It was myself and Wub at table 3 and the 2 players at table 2, because the players at table 1 had already drawn it into top 4. And so this was the Terror Mirror. So it was all about timing your Murmuring Mystics, like having a counter wars back and forth so that you're exchanging resources in such a way that you bait them into interacting with the cards you bait them into interacting the turn before you want to play Murmuring Mystic, so that they're tapped out, so you get to untap, slam the Murmuring Mystic, and get to continue on your merry way. Ideally, on turn 4, when on the play, where their turn 4, they don't have enough snowlands to scred your Murmuring Mystic. And then the Jace's Phantasms out of the sideboard were absolutely clutch. Jace's Phantasm is a blue mana for the 1/1 flyer. It gets +4/+4 if your opponent has 10 cards in their graveyard. And if your opponent is also casting Tolarian Terrors, they're also trying to fill their graveyard. And so those things were super clutch in the matchup. It was just all about timing when to go for the counter wars on either side and just kind of grinding each other out. And I managed to come out victorious in the end. I think that I potentially could have won game 1 if I had timed something a little bit differently, but it's so hard to know. I was dead to a couple of bolts going face at a late point in the game anyway, so it's hard to tell. But I was able to rally back in games 2 and 3, and wound up in the 3rd place slot going into the top 4. So yeah, and then I'll wait to we'll tell everyone what we did in top 4 after Cam gives his report. But
yeah,
but Terror felt great. It felt really fun. I would definitely play it again, but ideally in a room where there's not as many Gardens decks, because there were 2 or 3 Gardens decks, and 2 of the top 4 players were on Gardens.
Well, spoilers. Maybe I wasn't the one that made it. But I watched I think the end of the 2nd game of Wub and Yours, and then the 3rd game. They're pretty good games.
Yeah,
like those were fun to watch.
They were really good games back and forth. Like I brought in a couple of my blue blasts because I knew that they were going to bring in their red blasts and like things like that. Like I had a dispel I could bring in. It was really interesting mind games going on back and forth of like when to pull the trigger on what, and what that would leave either of us with to untap and then dump more stuff onto the table. Like it was really, really interesting.
So I played Gardens, no surprise. I haven't played in a minute, so I just wanted to give it a try, and I haven't played the Defile versions yet. So in my flex slot, a lot of people are running Duress. I don't like that card in your main deck. I think you should either be on Drown in Sorrow if it's like a glitters heavy thing, or mono red heavy, or I played a 19th land. I thought I had Snuff Out in my deck. I didn't put Snuff Out in my deck, I guess, like a one of, but I just played a 19th land. Round 1, I ended up playing the Gardens Mirror, and game 1 took like 30 something minutes. And
another deck donated from James.
Yeah, I basically got to donate 3 different decks since I was not playing in the tournament myself.
And that he normally doesn't play Pauper. He's he hangs with like the CDH crew and stuff, but he's like really fun. Like he's super cool to like hang out with and chill with. Like I enjoyed our games a lot because it's fun when you play Magic and you can like just BS with your opponent and they're not just like a stick in the mud, just like straight face staring at you. Because it's like if all you get joy from is winning, Magic sucks. Unless you're Thomas. But
I don't know. I tried my best to give you kind of a stone face in our round 2, but we were having fun. We were having a good time.
So that took like 30 something minutes. I won the die roll. So game 1, I ended up on the end of his turn 4. I deadly disputed a garden token or something, making a treasure, played my land, and I just slammed a Avenging Hunter on turn 5, and like did not care if he killed it. Like he killed it, but he didn't have a creature to attack back the initiative. We played a creature. We just took turns playing each other's creatures, and I just had the initiative for a while, and he didn't draw an Avenging Hunter. I think at some point he played Thorn of the Black Rose and started drawing a card while I had the initiative. But at some point he played his own Avenging Hunter. But like, I just had so many cards from like deadly disputing crap, and I eventually found another Avenging Hunter, and I think I won that game. I think for like the first like, this sounds ridiculous, like 20 turns, the only damage I dealt was to lose 5 life from the initiative. And so that took forever. Game 2, going into it with like 15 minutes left, I wasn't as pressured because I'm like, okay, I already got round 1. So I just focused on killing their stuff, and he took the Monarch first, I believe, but could never land a fast enough clock. and it got to a point where I stuck an Avenging Hunter again and took the initiative for a bit, and I think he took it back, but yeah, and at some point I just like drew my card and we got in the turns, pass turn, drew my card, pass turn. Like I just like played a land pass and I'm like, I can't win, you can't win in 5 turns. So I locked that up. So that was fun, really fun match. That was, I think, the first actual mirror I played, because another tournament, Hippo and I got paired into the top 4. And I'm just like, hey, if I concede, you want to just split the prize and even with me? So we just conceded and Hippo won and we split even. So that was really fun.
Hell yeah.
Round 2, I played against you, Gun. We talked about that already. I don't have like a ton of recollection. Like I know like just like the first few turns, I think of both games were out of I can't think. Game 1 and game 2, like you're beating the crap out of me, and it's like you can only counter so many removal spells until like the 4th, 5th, or 6th one finally kills your dude, you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I remember game 1, I ended up sticking a Crypt Rats, even though you countered 1, and I remember popping 1 for 5 and kind of 2 for winning you there. And then I think playing the Hunter after that was the following turn. That kind of locked her up for me, because I think I had Hunter, Garden, so even if you kill the Hunter, I had a blocker, and I had a cast down my hand or something of that nature.
Yeah, and you notably had
So
Crypt Rats for 5 after the Avenging Hunter had 2 plus counters on it from the second room in the initiative dungeon. So it was
Seems good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that seems like a really uphill battle on the terror side. Round 3, I played against Goblin combo, which, like the Mogwarts combo, they have a whole infinite loop with First Day of Class, Putrid Goblin, and Skirk Prospector as a sack outlet, and you can loop Putrid Goblin back and forth with the +1/+1 counter, and you'll find a way to win the game with infinite mana, infinite ETBs, infinite LTBs. That matchup was just kind of... So it's a creature-heavy combo versus a creature-heavy removal deck, so you can probably picture how that goes as well. But it does have, like, the scary backup plan of turn 2, Exhume Troll. But both games I was able to, like, swamp cycle, like, on turn 1 or 2. Normally I like leaving it up just in case they have the Exhume, and I can kind of, like, flash that in last second. But
what does this Exhume do?
Whatever. Exhume is 1 of the black for... Each player returns a creature card from their graveyard to the battlefield. So it's symmetrical, but both decks played Troll of Khazad-dûm, which we've heard of that card before. So that's really nice to bring back the 6/5. So the deck, even though you have like so much removal, I couldn't imagine playing against this deck without all the removal, because it's terrifying to play against. Like, it feels like they're just going to win. After turn 3, it feels like, okay, they could just win at any point. And if they have multiple pieces, they could just like do it again, because it starts with them playing the First Day of Class, which is, I should probably say that it's like 1 on a red you learn, which doesn't really matter that much, but until the end of your turn, creatures you control enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on them, and they have haste. So a Putrid Goblin that counteracts the -1/-1 counter from Persist and lets it die infinitely to a sack outlet. And so game 1, I just kind of grinded them out. Both games, really, I just grinded them out of the game intentionally, and like just didn't stick a threat until like turn 5, until I knew I was safe. Like, I would not play a threat until I had like 3 removal spells for backup. At one point, game 2, he duressed me. My hand was Defile, 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 Spinning Darkness, I think Cast Down. And he's like, yeah, you got it. And just picks up his cards. And it's just like, that's so unfair. That's so dumb. I drew all 4 Defiles that game. I'm just like, this is unfair. Then round 4, I got paired against Gardens again, which we were the only 2 3-0s. So we just drew into the top 4. Only a top 4 this month, even though last month was insane attendance. I think this month got stolen from the legacy players and RCQs.
So you're telling me that with the only 2 3-0s being the Gardens deck, that deck is broke. That's really what I'm understanding here.
Oh yeah, Best deck in the format for
Thanks,
sure.
bro.
I don't know if we.
It's
I
very
don't know if
good.
we've harped. I don't know if we've said enough about it on this podcast, but I think I'd like to just say it one more time. The deck is extremely good.
It's very good.
I would. We need to do a deep dive.
I
That'd be
agree.
really fun.
I would
Gun,
also.
you should
love a
play
deep
that
dive
next
of
month.
deck. That would be fantastic to see you play this deck.
Next month, you should play Gardens if you're not playing the PT. I don't know when Pauper is going to fall next month.
I think Pauper is the 9th?
Cool, so we should be all good, unless there's an RCQ, because I really need a queue.
Or it's the 10th. Saturday the 10th. Unless there's some sort of like pre-release event or something. But I think we're on for Pauper. Saturday the 10th.
Is that the RC?
It is that weekend, yeah.
Wait, are
That's
you
okay.
queued?
No.
That's also
not going.
pre-release weekend.
No. I think the weekend before is pre-release weekend.
Yeah, I think
No,
you're
that
right.
no, the weekend of the 9th, 10th, 11th is official release weekend. So pre-release
so that's-
is the
that's
first
dope.
weekend in February. Yeah. So we'll be
we're
good for Pauper.
to play some Pauper.
Ooh,
We should play some
hell yeah.
Gardens. I'm going to peer pressure you to Gardens. And Hippo and
Oh,
I
that-
will
oh,
both
that's
play
the
Mono Red.
I was like, this is the month I get to play. I hate the Raven Inspectors. Let's go.
Hell
We,
yeah.
we should just play Turbo Fog. We should set Gun up for Gardens. We'll just both play like Turbo Fog or something.
I would also
Just
play Turbo
trounce
Fog.
him.
And
yeah, play
so in the top 4, so it was Cam and local player Craig, both on Gardens. I don't remember the other player. It was me in third place on Terror, and then I don't remember the fourth place player's name, but they were on Jeskai. They were on Jeskai Glitters. So that was our top 4, and we decided to split. We just split prizes. We each paid like $5 extra a piece to upgrade the draft boosters to set boosters, and we each walked away with half a box. So not too shabby for a day's work.
It was pretty fun. Enjoyed it. Opened some good standard cards out of my boosties. So
Same.
hopefully do that. Should we segue to our challenge?
Let's do it. Shall I?
I am very excited for Saturday's challenge.
Oh, I know you
Oh,
are.
this is my-
I knew you would be as soon as I looked at it. I'm also very excited to hear you talk about this. All right. So, we're doubly excited. Oh, alrighty. Pauper Challenge, Saturday, January 13th in the year of our Lord 2024. In 8th place, Las Vegas Chaos with Azorius Affinity. I believe this is one of the Glitters lists. In 7th place, podcast favorite, Carrot Eater on Coggates.
Let's go.
In 6th place, Like a Pharaoh on Burn. In 5th place, J Markin 13 on Golgari Gardens. In 4th place, Ocean Soul 92 on Mono Blue Delver. This looks to be the Mono Blue Terror list. In 3rd place, K or Q Mario on Elves. Ooh. In 2nd place, Luffy du Chapeau de Palha on Grixis Affinity. And in 1st place, Artur Costa, also on Elves. James, I will cede the floor to you, my friend.
What happened?
Oh well, so this is quietly my favorite deck in Pauper. No matter how good it is or is not, it's still an absolute blast to play the Elves deck. That's
Apparently
super
it's
exciting.
good.
Apparently, it's very good if it doesn't exactly play against. I think just currently in the format, just Gardens basically. It can beat anything else. It just doesn't want to play against a bunch of like neg 1 Wraths or whatever. And this looks like this
And
top
I
8
feel
was
like the
pretty
combo deck's
pretty
gonna
light on that one.
Eat it. I feel like the combo decks have a good matchup against the Elves, though. Like, if you just run into, like, familiars who, like, just doesn't care, or, like...
Yeah, that could be also the case, too. The Elves deck's pretty uninteractive, so it's just kind of like ships trying to be a ship passing in the night.
I was talking to one of my Magic buddies on the phone earlier, like, this week. Not much of a Pauper player. He said he listened to the first episode, and he's like, yeah, I just don't care about Pauper. And I'm like, understandable, I guess. Ouch. But, Anyway, he's like, I miss when like elves was good. I'm like, you can still play elves, and this was like Thursday or Friday, and so I text him like, dude, you spoke into existence. So you can thank Zach for that.
Hell yeah.
I actually
It's
do
also
keep
in
a copy
13th
of
place.
elves. I do keep a copy of elves built like at all times, just in case I want to like just randomly bring it to one of these monthly events. I did.
But this isn't.
I did bring it 1 month, but it was probably, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe even longer, 2 months ago.
How do
This
we
isn't
feel?
Top
Green
eight.
Elves either.
It plays blue for like distant melody, correct?
And one spell pierce in the main.
Okay,
Wait,
cool.
one of the list plays a spell pierce.
Yeah, I'm looking at the first place list.
So, for those who don't know, we're talking about the blue splash and elves. For those who don't know what distant melody is, it is 3 and a blue. Choose a creature type, and then you draw a card for each of the creature types that you control. The card is
Damn.
very powerful. Elves has 8 ways to make a blue mana without playing a single island. So it's very easy to just put this card in your deck for free.
It's also playing red for Tuk Tuk Rebel Fort, which I thought was cool. 2 and a red. It's a wall, not an elf at all. Elves aren't walls. Defender Reach. It says 0-3, and creatures you control have haste. Now I'm just picturing a wall made out of just elves' corpses. It's so bad.
Yikes.
That is rough, my friend.
So is that
Yeah,
just to like puke out your hand and give them all haste?
Yeah,
Or-
it just it allows you to do some stupid stuff with specifically Timberwatch Elf is like the big one because you comes
Yeah.
Is
so
that
what
the
Timberwatch
token
Elf
maker?
is no, that's Lizalana Huntmaster. No, so the Timberwatch Elf is 2 and a green for a 1/2. It says tap target creature gains +X equal to the number of elves in play, not just you control.
So you
but
target the
in
wall.
play. It has defender, so you can do that all you'd like.
It also has haste.
But that's really the card that like kind of goes off with that having haste. That and what's the other one?
The token maker.
That's really yeah. I guess the like Lizalana Huntmasters. Yeah, I guess the token maker is really good with it too. Yeah,
I feel like the
it's
token
super
maker is
sweet.
better.
Oh no! The other one is Priest of Titania.
Oh yeah.
1 and a green, 1/1. It makes green for each elf in play. Again, I did not just say elves you control. Each elf in play.
But the sideboard choices too are just awesome. Like both of the decks have some like really unique sideboard cards. Like you see a Viridian Longbow in one of the list, which is just 1-mana equipment, equip 3, equipped a creature has tap. This deals 1 damage to target creature or player.
Yep.
Like,
So
what's
this
that
actually beats
for?
this beats Fog. This like Moment's Peace and stuff like that. Is a good one. It also beats what's the 4-mana creature that says the opponent skips their combat step? It beats that as well.
Stonehorn Dignitary.
Yeah, Stonehorn Dignitary. Yeah, it beats that card. Card's pretty cool. I like it. Other cards that this specific deck plays that I had not very many other ones. I think the only other one I've ever seen play it is Boggles. Is Gleeful Sabotage. It actually comes in against Boggles. Gleeful Sabotage is just a cool disenchant that you can conspire and tap another creature to choose another target for it. It's pretty sweet.
And the first place list had Sandstorm. It was a 1 green instant. All attacking creatures suffer 1 damage. It's from Arabian Night, so it's got that weird text. So I'm guessing you bring that in against like Godolpha and stuff like that. Probably Coggates because they got all those stupid 1/1s until they're not 1/1s anymore.
Yeah, I would probably bring it in both those matchups. So they just like because I guess the Coggate's plan is just like fly over you. So, yeah, they also gets to play a copy of since your deck makes so much mana. They also decided to play a copy of Valakut Invoker in their sideboard. Also, really cool one.
I like that
So it's
more than the Viridian Longbow to beat the
So the Viridian,
Turbo Fogs and stuff.
I guess because it's just 1 mana to put it into play, so you just like don't have to make a red for it. So like if that comes up, like you don't have a way to make a red, the longbow can get around that.
And you have 1 billion mana, I guess, to keep moving the bow around. So I'm sure they both
Yeah.
do it effectively.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
makes the
say both of them are
off-color
good.
mana in these decks?
The original one is Burslar Ranger, and the newer elf in the deck is
Jaspera Sentinel.
Jasper Sentinel from Kaldheim. But yeah,
because it just plays forest.
It just plays forest because its main card draw engines are Winding Way and Lead the Stampede. And then as aforementioned,
Distant Melody.
Yeah, Distant Melody. This deck is super sweet. It's very linear.
Creatures.
It's a blast to play if you just like expect a bunch of like dinky like blue decks. It's really, really good there.
Bring it back. Bring it back to the cave.
Yeah, exactly. I keep it built all the time, so it's very fun. Except in a room with gardens, it's probably not the ideal choice to make.
So, Gun, did this mono blue list in top 4 of his Terror deck? Was it any much different? Any big different? Was it different from the deck that you played? How different, if so?
Fairly different. They're only on the 1 Mystic in the main. And they're playing the 3 snaps, which I cut for, which I mentioned earlier, the 2 boomerangs and the 3rd spell pierce. They're on a 2nd Force Spike, which is interesting. I was only on 1 Force Spike. I mean, I like, the shell is good. It's proven that it has a spot in the metagame. It's a good control deck. It's a very good Delver deck. It was really this weekend was really my first time getting to play with Delver of Secrets and Brainstorm together, and holy crap. What a drug.
Feels good.
I will be hoping to do more of that in the future. But more so looking at the sideboard, I trimmed down to 4 Blue Blast effects because I didn't expect a ton of mono red in our tournament in particular. But because they're playing online, they're on 3 Blue Blasts and 3 Hydro Blasts, so they have 6 altogether in the board. They have their 2nd Murmuring Mystic in the sideboard. I was also on 1 Echoing Truth. I had the same 2 Annuls and 3 Steel Sabotage for Glitters and the Affinity decks. But they were on 2 Shore Ups as well, which I also considered as another something to combat, a little something extra to combat the Gardens decks against like Defile and Cast Down. It's certainly not good against Tithing Blade, but just another spell to be able to protect against all of the targeted removal that Gardens would have. I decided to
Murmuring Mystic too.
Yeah, exactly. Just like it protects that, makes another bird. Yeah, Murmuring Mystic itself is
from Tithing Blade.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the game plan to be able to protect against the Tithing Blade for sure. So I decided instead, because I knew that there would be a couple of other Terror decks in the field, I instead chose to play slightly fewer the Blue Blast / Hydro Blast effects against the red decks, and I chose to play the Jace's Phantasms in the board for the mirror. And I'm glad I did, because it came up a bunch in my round 4 against the blue-red Terror deck. But I think this is fine. This deck list, it looks good. They had a great result. No notes, really. No, that looks good to me. I'm going to take a quick look at the burn list in 6th place before we move on. It looks
it's a goblin deck.
Fairly stocked. They're on 3 mutagenic growths in the main, which is cool. So they're trying to just go a little bit more aggressive.
Get them dead. 3 Seal Fires,
pretty
too.
Sick. Oh, I will say we had a note on one of our reviews on Apple Podcasts that we forgot to mention Goblin Grenade in our Mono Red episode last week. Goblin Grenade is a red mana for sorcery. You can sacrifice a goblin. It's as an additional cost to cast it, you sacrifice a goblin, and it deals 5 damage to any target. So it's 1 mana, 5 damage, but you have to sack a goblin. But that's really easy when you have Koldatha Rebirth and 12 actual goblins in your deck. So Goblin Grenade is definitely cemented its spot in the red deck with the current iterations, playing so many goblins and the Koldatha Rebirths.
You got goblins to throw around.
Lots of grenades. No, this looks sick too. I don't think I have too many other notes here. Do y'all have anything else to add here?
I played against a more goblin leaning deck in a little 3-round Pauper event in Sensi, and my opponent, who is also from Nashville, funny enough, but they were playing, I think, is it Goblin Sledder, which you can sacrifice a goblin and give a creature +1/+1. That card is annoying. It was hard to make good blocks. just because it's like, okay, I could just die if you have a lightning bolt in hand.
Yeah, Goblin's not a deck that gets played a ton anymore. It used to be a really, really popular choice because it had really cool stuff like the Goblin Slitter.
This is a Goblin deck.
I'm saying like it used to be like more like way more creature centric than what this is.
I know. I just like calling it Goblins because it's all of its creatures besides the Verdarian Epicure or Goblins.
Fair enough. Would you like to move on
Shall
to
we?
the Sunday challenge?
Yeah, let's do Sunday.
Oh,
Sunday. Oh, do you have something else, Cameron?
Real quick, another copy of Elves in top 16 of the same challenge. I thought that was just funny.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that. Hell yeah.
So when it rains, it pours.
Lots of
You'd love
elves
to
that
see
go
it.
on
Shut up.
brow.
All right, Sunday challenge. Our top 8. Looks like we had about 79 players in this challenge. Let's go.
There's a bunch of very good players in this top 8.
It's true. It's very true. All right, in 8th place on Paxi on Grixis Affinity. In 7th place, Lee Major's Jedi on Golgari Gardens. In 6th place, Pai Ganti on Boros Ephemerate. In 5th place, GN42 on Familiars. This is our first Familiars top 8 in a while. In 4th place, Aster17 on Golgari Gardens. In 3rd place, Arcani1 on Burn. In 2nd place, Baicho Digea on Demir Fairies. And in 1st place, one of the MTGO goats currently, Mogged on Demir Control. This looks to be a terror list.
Real quick, whenever Mog's on, I want some. Because correct? He?
I think, but we can go with they.
Okay, I'll go
now.
they, because I don't know what they're pronounced. Magic Online is doing all the stats now that's on Daybreak, and so someone combined like the players who had like the most wins on MTGO and who played the most games, who won the most challenges. I think Mogged I can't remember if it was like top 8 the most challenges. Like they definitely played the most challenges, and I think they might have won the most challenges too out of anybody else on MTGO.
I also
That would not surprise me.
I'll believe they also may have top 8'd one of the vintage challenges the same weekend as well. I think.
Weird, because they also top 8'd they won the Pioneer Challenge and the Standard Challenge. So
We
I know
have
they double.
here. I'll give a quick rundown. Just from this past weekend. This past weekend, 28th place in Legacy. This on Saturday, 28th place in Legacy, 14th place in Standard, 5th place in Vintage, and 57th in Pioneer. On Sunday, 8th in Vintage. So back-to-back Vintage top 8s this past weekend. Nothing showing in Modern. 1st place in the Sunday Pauper. 1st place in the Sunday Standard.
What a G!
So that's a monster. Like that's also I'm pretty sure that involves some overlapping of tournaments as well at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
It's probably double queuing as well.
Easily.
And they weren't playing mono red aggro in Standard, like something that's a little easier to balance. Nope, Esper. Just Esper mid-range I can deal with. I can play this interactive deck while I'm playing another format as well. Easy. Just
also not playing a particularly easy deck in Pauper either.
No, this Demir terror list looks
good.
pretty sick. We've got a full set of anglers. We got one archaeologist as well as our 2-drop creature. No delvers to be seen here. I think that's kind of a trend we've seen with the blue-black list and the blue-red list kind of cutting down on delvers and focusing more on the controlling plan rather than the tempo plan. And the snuff outs as well. They don't usually play the
Cryptic Serpents then, do they?
No, I think those are usually just in the mono blue list.
Okay. Yeah, the 2 unexpected things main, just for those aggressive decks. 2nd place was Fairies. I love me some good Fairies decks. I think the 1 copy of Murmuring Mystic is starting to become stock in Fairies in the main board, which is cool. I think that's a good axis to work on. But other than that, it's just like a stock Dimir Fairies list. You got the Okuba Gang Shinobi in my sideboard, which is a classic, as well as a Stormbound Geist.
That's fairly new not new technology. That's old technology, but it hasn't been used in a long time. I guess it kind of combats the. Yeah, it's old new technology. I guess just mainly there for just like the Gardens deck, just I guess. You can also bring it in against the blue against the blue because you can easily block like these like bunch of 1/1 flyers.
So this top 4 Gardens list was very interesting to me because it didn't really use like that one flex spot we talk about. Like Gardens is normally like an 18 land deck. This played 20 lands, which seems like a ton in this deck, especially when you're just churning through with your dispute effects. In 0 defiles and only 2 snuff outs. So that was like really odd.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're definitely leaning back into more like the traditional Gardens build here for sure. I guess this person may prefer having access to like Bajuka Bog plus Golgari Rock Farm. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Also having a land that is just a swamp, like an essential swamp that you can sack to like Deadly Dispute and Fanatical Offering and things like that's also quite strong.
Yeah, but with the Vault of Whispers, that is really nice.
Yeah, the Vault
I don't love playing 20 lands in Gardens just because like you draw a lot of cards, but when you like sometimes you keep a 2-lander and you're like, okay, if I don't draw my 3rd land, I just lose the game. And sometimes you draw 3-4 cards and you don't see another land. That's magic, you know.
Yeah, it happens. But they and something I've seen some of these play is that Okuba Gang Shinobi as well in the sideboard of these some of these terror decks or not terror, sorry, Gardens.
What do you bring those in for? I guess if you're fairies and or gardens, because I never understood what you bring those in against.
I imagine it's probably just for like kind of one. I think the mirror here specifically,
But you
and then I think
so many kill spells.
Yeah, I know. I think I guess you only have so many removal spells for like their stuff. So I guess at some point, like, yeah, it becomes difficult. Also, attacking with it, like, you just like joke about attacking with your O1 plant, and then you just like actually put the thing in against. That's actually probably really funny.
I would kill for that moment. I want that to happen so bad. I want to get somebody so bad with that. And
yeah, just attack. Just joke about getting in there with that plant, and then you just put the little shinobi in there. That'd be very, very funny.
So the other Gardens list, it plays like the 3 of all the creatures like normal, but it plays the 4 Defile along with the 2 Snuff Outs. So I don't know what it's cutting down on to fit those in the deck.
It's cutting down on some of those. It's cutting down on the no copies of the other Reckoner's Bargain.
Oh, okay.
And just one
but they usually
spinning
play
darkness.
8, don't they? Or do they play a little bit more?
They play. It's like 9 copies of the like draw 2 effects.
Oh, okay.
I think my current list is like a 3-2 split between Bargain and Fanatical Offering.
Gotcha. I really like this Boros Initiative deck. This pops up every now and then.
Yeah, so this is actually this is a modern grinder that actually played this deck. They tend to play Murktide in modern when they play modern. But it's kind of cool. They came over and played some Pauper. This list is super sweet. I mean, it's not a whole lot to be said here. It looks like just your traditional red-white Ephemerate deck. Other than the deck is sweet, I don't really have anything a whole lot to say about it.
Yeah, you have like that Ephemerate loop with the red Ardent Elementus. When it enters the battlefield, you could pick up an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, so you can pick up that Ephemerate, and then it has rebound. So you can do Stonehorde Dignitary loops, which are really fun for the person doing them, at least.
Yeah, no, I mean, also this deck, I'm saying, having both acts, this almost looks like what Gardens would be, like, because this has both like an initiative and a monarch creature, and you also have like these really in-gaming like loops of things that you can do with things like with Ardent Elementalist and the Ephemerate. Like that's your like one of your real strong in-game engines.
Yeah, it reminds me more of like the Orzhov decks, like the Orzhov Ephemerate decks, which are pretty similar to the Gardens decks, like you said. But these look cool.
Yeah, these are super sweet.
Anything else really catch your eyes in this challenge?
Yeah, GN42. That's a popper grinder if I've ever seen one. They tend to play between Coggates and this Familiars deck. Probably the best Familiars player out there. If I just had to take a stab, I'd say they put up a lot of good results with this deck.
I know in top 16 we had a Jeskai Glitters Ephemerate, but kind of like not a whole the sky's falling situation like I thought it was with the new, I said Ephemerate, Jeskai Glitters decks, but I thought like those would just be so prominent and dominant in these challenges, but they're not really showing their faces up too much.
Yeah, if you back the cards for it, it's not gonna kill you. So I think that's the key. Keep backing your hate cards for it every weekend. And you're not just gonna just straight lose to it. I think it's a fine place to be.
For sure.
Gun, any closing thoughts on Sundays?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a good healthy representation of the metagame as a whole. I think we have these Grixis Affinity decks kind of making a little bit of an upswing as well. We also have like a pocket of 4 other Dimir control decks in the top 16 as well as our first place list. So like, you know, the blue-black terror list with Snuff Out are also there. I think everyone's just trying to prey on the Jeskai Affinity decks after, like, you know, we're still in like people thinking the Jeskai decks are really, really good. And so we're kind of coming, I think, down off of the peak of people thinking that that's like one of the best or the best deck to play since the Pauper-Geddon list came out. And so I think that people are pretty much set on reacting to that deck, and I think that people are kind of figuring out where they want to settle in the format until we get some new cards next month.
I think it's like a really tricky deck too to like analyze because you remember so well the games they just beat the crap out of you because they just flip over their entire deck, but you kind of brush over the games where they're just a really crappy mid-range deck, you know?
If mid-range at all.
That's true.
Yeah. No. Synthesizer's a pretty mid-range card.
Any parting thoughts, y'all? Or should we wrap this party up?
It was, I'll say it was super sick to play Terror. I would definitely give it another go. I had a lot of fun with the deck on Saturday, and I'm very, very pleased with a top 4 result. I'm glad that you were willing to split and not crush me again in the semifinals.
Oh, yeah, we got paired. We even mentioned that. Yeah, I'll say the same thing. I love Gardens. Gardens is super fun. It's always fun to play it again and remember why I love the deck so much. I'll be flying back to South Dakota this week, and I messaged one of the LGS owners, and they had Pioneer in their schedule, and I'm like, yo, you should change it to Pauper for when I'm back in town. And they did, so
yeah, let's go.
That's pretty sick. I don't know what I'm playing.
I have a semi-local event to go play while you two are one off in South Dakota, and the other one is potentially playing RCQs. There's a semi-local event about an hour from here that I think I'm going to go battle in this weekend.
Is it a game night?
Yeah, it's out in game night in Columbia. But yeah, I think I'm going to play that event. Yeah, so I'll have some tournament results. I'm not exactly sure what list I want to play yet.
Might I suggest Gardens?
I probably should play that if I just want to win, I think. Mm-hmm. Also, I think between Cameron and I, we definitely need to start looking at lists we're going to play for this Pauper Cup as well. So I think I might, whatever list I think I'm going to be on for that, I think I should start playing that and getting as many reps in as I can.
I like that. I like that plan.
I do as well. Alrighty, folks. If you made it this far, you're one of my top 10 favorite persons in the whole entire world right now. And that's beating out my wife and my cats. So
wow. I appreciate that you consider your cats as people.
That is awesome.
Well, I won't say what I was going to say, but So if you're this smart, you rock. Thank you so much. As always, we'll see you next week. And if you have questions for us, send us questions to commongroundmtgpod@gmail.com. That'll be in the description. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter.
It's Twitter. Don't do that.
Still Twitter.
Man, you know what? I want to record some paper gameplay so bad.
Same. Speaking of recording,
Especially when we got...
we still have to review some footage. We may have come into a bit of a glitch, but we did record a decent amount of content at our event on Saturday. It turns out, I don't know who it was. We don't know. It was probably me. It might have been a friend of ours. We don't know. But it was probably me. Accidentally set the camera to be in slow motion after a certain point, and so a bunch of our footage is in slow motion. So I'm trying to see if I can salvage it. And if so, you'll get some video content, and if not, then you'll get video content of our next monthly in February. So stay tuned. We're definitely gonna put some more stuff out for y'all.
What sucks most is like you could speed up the B-rolls and just have like the do 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 music of like just people playing and stuff, which is kind of cute and stuff. But there's one interview and it's after I crushed you round 2. That's like the only thing, you know. No, wait, that's in slow-mo. That's not even there.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in post. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, then we'll get some fresh footage in February for all of you kind listeners.
Cool. Maybe one day paper gameplay.
Yes, also that. I'm into that. If anyone listening is into a paper gameplay, let us know if there are any specific matchups you'd like us to film.
I think between the three of us, we can make anything we want, and we'd love to have some suggestions.
Okay, bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Sam.
everyone.
We'll be back all together for next episode. Well, actually, we won't, because one of us will still be recording partially remotely, but 2 of us will be together.
You two, y'all will be together. I'll be gone.
Hell yeah,
South to Hooter, but I'll be recording with y'all. This was a long outro. Peace out.
All right, peace out, fam. Thanks for listening.
Later.